So, you mentioned the X-Men, Executioners. Um, I heard somewhere that, well, I think I read it somewhere that you guys were actually assembled to compete against Clark Kent,
Yeah,
Superman.
we were. That was the
Which is
original.
dope, like Superman versus the X-Men.
Yeah. If you ever see Steve D out there, he got the Superman shirt on.
Yeah.
And Steve D was, of course, the inventor of, anybody that was doing the beat juggle now.
Yeah.
You know, Steve D was doing patterns, and he's still doing them today, like that caused people to start doing the funk, is what we called it. We used to battle each other, and he organized it to battle it because at that time it was a Superman. You know, big shout to Clark, Scratch, and Richie Rich, because they put mad dope scratches on wax. Richie Rich put, Scratch, EPMD, and we see each other to this day, and we're good. But at that time, it was a big competition.
Yeah.
And they know it.
Yeah.
They know it. And, Steve D put that together. So they was the Superman, we were the X-Men.
Yeah, like now the names, because I know you're Mista Sinister.
Yeah.
And now that's to play off the comic as well, right?
Yeah, at the end, that was the time.
And then the X-Men would just play on a comic.
Yeah,
it
was.
Yeah.
And it all fell into place.
So do you keep up with the comics?
I do.
You do?
I do, yeah.
What do you think about that Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I like it.
You like it?
Yeah, it's okay. It's all right.
I don't like it.
Yeah, it's all right. I'm not going to diss it. It's okay.
I'm going to diss it.
Yeah,
I hope it gets better.
Yeah.
I hope it gets better.
I hope it should get better.
Stan Lee need to do something about it.
Yeah, Stan Lee needs to step in instead of the.
But I think it's because it's a spin-off. He just doesn't.
Yeah. You don't get it.
Yeah, he's like Shield. Okay, doing whatever.
We actually had to change our name
Andy
because
Shell.
of that. Because Stan Lee wouldn't allow us to clear X-Men.
X-Men, right? Yeah.
He wouldn't allow us to clear it.
Because you were known as X-Men first,
right?
Before you went to X-Men.
There was a spin-off. We normally use X-Ecutioners because we were putting together another spin-off of DJs. It was actually Shortcut and some other people that weren't down with the ISP that we was using X-Ecutioners for. So we were about to use that for the spin-off of the X-Men. That's where that originally came from. But being that Stan Lee didn't let us use the name X-Men, we was like, oh, well, we got to be the X-Ecutioners.
That's crazy. So, like, did you get like a letter or a phone call or something like that?
Well, when we got signed to Loud, Asphodel, which was our first album, which was Expressions, and I know with a lot of Expressions, we had to get, of course, of the business, we had to go through a lot of clearance.
Yeah.
This goes with the business,
Yeah.
And we were told by Not Human, the guy that started us with the first record, that he was like, well, Stan Lee won't let y'all clear the name. So we were like, all right, well, we had to change the Executioners. And that's where that came about, where we just like, well, we're going to use the Executioners because, people are still going to know who we are, but we'll clear it and we'll do that because we don't want any legal problems.
And that's big legal problems.
Very
Marvel.
Yeah.
Stan Lee is
a lot of take your money legal problems.
Yeah.
So,
we don't want it. No, go ahead.
No, but shortly after, was like what, an album after that or something like that, you wound up going to do your own thing.
Yeah.
Yes, and a lot of people don't know this. I'm about to give that exclusive story here.
Yeah, it's exclusive. Bodega cuts.
The X-Men were always tight. We were always a tight unit, and I want to let every artist know this out there. This is very important. So, whoever's listening or whoever, any young DJs coming up, this is a very personal touch speech to me. Like, I was going through a lot of things, and actually I separated from the Executioners because at that time I was really going through a lot of personal stuff, man. I was drinking heavy. I got into a lot of drugs. I was doing a lot of stuff. That caused the group to look at me like, well, this guy is a risk, and it wasn't like that before. And at the time, I couldn't see it. So, I was young. I was into my own stuff, and I was like, yo, you know what? Fuck them. I said fuck them, but they were doing it for a good reason, and the reason was good because when time goes on, you start seeing the reason that it was a really positive thing, but I couldn't see it then. So, the separation from it was then. These guys were trying to be as political about it as possible, and I was real bitter. I didn't want to talk to these dudes, but at the end of the day, time heals all wounds, and things go on, and you learn. I had to learn. I had to learn. I had to grow up. I had to be a man. I had to grow up and understand why these things were happening. God was taking things away from me because I was doing the wrong things.
Right.
And I didn't realize that at the time, and I wasn't able to come clean with it because I didn't feel good about myself.
Yeah.
I didn't feel great. People knew what was going on, but I didn't know what was going on. And it took me time to realize what my role in it was. And when I started to heal mentally, I was able to let go of that, and I was able to heal, and I was able to see what my faults were. And when I was able to heal, other people started seeing my change, and they started to radiate back to me. So what I'm trying to say is, we ended up getting back, and it ended up being a great thing. But if any artist out there or any person doing something, always understand that your business or whatever you're doing and your personal health is come first and foremost. You can't let anything take over what you're doing. And I did it. And it was years later before I could admit it and admit it and be a real man about it. And it freed me from my what was going on with me. It freed me. And I didn't realize that. I didn't realize it. And when I was able to come to grips with it and free myself and change, and the only thing that is going to do it is change, I was able to grasp it and change and let people see that I was the good person, but I was just affected by something, and I was able to change my situation and able to come back and be strong about it. And they seen that. So the change is basic thing. You change yourself, the situations change around you.
Yes.
Yes,
definitely.
And being honest with it. Like, this the only thing about it is being gut honest. You can't lie to yourself. If you lie to yourself, you basically gonna fall and people gonna see it. And that's what happened with me. That situation. Now, my family situation wasn't tight. I got my family back. Everything is good. I learned that if I want to enjoy something, everything is in moderation.
Yes.
It's not, before I was abusing, I wasn't enjoying.
Right.
And I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
And I thought it was everybody else's fault. You understand? And that was my mistake. I thought it was everybody else's fault but mine. And I was blaming. I wasn't looking at myself, and that's the trait key in when in whatever you're doing is it's easy to blame people. And I wasn't looking at myself, and I had to look in the mirror and look and go, this is you. So whatever role you played, you can't blame people for a picture you painted. You have to unpaint that picture and start painting a new picture for yourself. And that's the only way people are going to look at you in a different light. And when they see you in a different light, and if anybody doesn't respect that, then you made amends and you got to move on. But hey, at the end of the day, I feel great, and I've done that. I moved on. I survived whatever I survived, and I'm going through a new phase in my life. And God wanted me to go through this, and I just took it back when I started cleaning up, and I started cleaning my mind up, and I started going back, and I started getting the respect back. I said, you know what? I'm just gonna take it back to where I got before, where I was, and why people respect me. And they respect me because of the music and my skills and what I do and myself as a person. So I took it back, cleaned myself up, and went back to the essence and took it back to the beginning. Fuck the business, fuck everything. I'm just gonna be Joey, Mr. Sinister. I'm gonna be me and just concentrate on my music. And I took it 10 steps back and just going and loving my music. And it worked out.
Yeah, definitely, man. That was very deep. That's very powerful right there.
Thank you.
That's a big step, and just admitting it is very, very big.
Hard.
Yeah, it is. It is. So during that time, like you said, the group considered you a risk, like a risk in how, like showing up late for shows, not performing well, and things like that.
I mean, I've never showed up late for shows. We did so many shows, but of course, somebody with that, which I couldn't understand it. Of course, somebody that is dealing with drugs or, not even so much to say dealing with drugs. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but if you're irresponsible with it and they don't know what's going to happen.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
If you're dealing with somebody with somebody is using drugs, or they don't know if they're going to have $1 million show and they need everybody to be there, and one day you're going to be like, no, I can't make it, and that's going to fuck the deal up. That's going to make everybody look bad.
Yeah, and you lose money and everything.
And not only you.
Yeah,
they know you don't care. They're going to lose.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, look, we got to do this. We got to look out for our best interests.
Yeah.
And, we love you, and we're gonna wait for you to get back to where you're supposed to be. But you know, this is our job. This is how we survive.
Yeah.
This is what we pay our rent with it. You know, God forbid you have children. Like, you know, I can't take a risk of you fucking up my children's income when this is my income in which I got. And if you do something, then I gotta look at you, and you know, so it's understood.
Right. Yeah,
it's understood, and that's what it was. It was more or less of that particular thing, and it was understood. In later times, I had to grow, and I understood, and only when I got the help that I needed, I had to figure it out.
Yeah,
you know, nothing wrong. I'm not ashamed of it. I'll tell anybody that. I go, I'm in spots and I go and I see people and I say it, you know, because you know why I'm a real dude, and I know that can only be respected. That you can only get respected out of that. People look at you like, yo, this motherfucker came to a hard time, but now he's good and he got through it.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, you got through it. People love that shit.
Yeah, exactly.
They love it. You love it yourself.
Yeah.
But other people like, yo, you end up being an inspiration to another motherfucker that might be going through the same problem.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. And now I'm here. I'm in the flesh. I'm good. And I'm still learning. This is a journey for me.
So, you know, I mean, not to dwell on that time.
No, keep going.
During that time, were you like doing, you know, parties? Were you producing at that time?
Yes, I was doing all that. Music is something I always loved. I was always doing. I never stopped that. I think I was most less likely going to places where I'm a networker. I'm a friendly person, which I'm always. And that's my character. That's what I'm gonna do all the time. Like people love. I go out. I network. But I was doing stupid shit outside. You know, I was going outside. I was pissing in clubs. I was pissing on dance floors.
Wow.
I was asking business people for coke. I was doing all that.
Yeah.
I was doing all that. Like, people looking up to me like, yo, I wasn't keeping it under the wraps. Like, I was going raw. Like, fuck, everybody know who the fuck I am.
You know who I am.
You know who the fuck I am. I'm Sinister.
Right.
Sorry if I'm saying anything wrong, I was like, yo, y'all getting the raw interview. This is the rawest I ever got.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yo, I was doing all that. Like, yo, y'all motherfucking look, man, I'm on loud, nigga. Yo, who got the fucking grams? Like, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Niggas is looking at me like, oh, this they going back. This motherfucker just asked me for a gram. Like, and even if they wasn't saying that, they was like, yo, after I do it and they see the actions, they might have been like, oh, all right, well, you might have asked. But then after, all right, if I was just chilling and left, but it couldn't happen like that because the addicted mind of me, it could never happen like that. Once I start sniffing, I'm like, I gotta do some other shit. I gotta go talk to a chick, somebody else, and disrespect somebody, or maybe piss on their floor. And now it's like, oh, we just got this nigga a gram on top of the fact, but now he's out here disrespecting our club.
Wow.
So now it's like, now the spotlight is on me. Like, yeah, Sinister's fucked up on Joe, or he's fucked up on every. And I had to eat that. I had to take it. Because I did it.
Yeah.
And it's a minute. It's a minute before I can hey, you do shit, you gotta relax, and you gotta realize that you did. Like, all right, well, now all I can do is change it. I can't call anybody up and go, yo, I did it, yo, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. But, after a while, the sorries, whatever you do, don't work.
Yeah.
Because if you keep repeating the same action 5-6 times, motherfuckers is like, nigga, them sorries don't mean shit.
Yeah.
You need help.
Yeah.
And you gotta get it.
Yeah.
We like you, you're a good dude, we respect you, but do something to help yourself, and then maybe. And that's what I did. I had to realize that it wasn't everybody. It wasn't everybody. It was me.
When was that point in time where you was like, it's me?
A lot of times. 90.
No, but when you said like, I'm gonna change this.
I think after the maybe 3 years after the X-Ecutioner breakup, when I was doing it, I was still wilding out after that. I think my rock bottom was when I was on the bench with my man, and he looking at me like, man, you Sinister, man. You out here just chilling with us. Like, I'll chill. I'm a hood nigga. I'll chill.
Yeah.
But he was like, nigga, look at you, man. You got, you Sinister, and niggas, just people respecting you, and you out here on the bench reducing yourself to a $3 bottle of Georgie.
Yeah.
And that shit really hit me like, damn. Yeah, I gotta change something because I really love music and I really want to do it. and I got to change something, you know, and I did. And Rob drove by. You know, Rob lives in my area. Rob from Queens represented. He used to drive by the area. Rob never showed me no disrespect, but he used to drive by the area. I used to see him. And I'm like, oh, man, he'd be like, Joey, man, yo, like, you know, Rob be like, yo, Joey, come on, man. Steve, same thing. Tell me, like, yo, come on, man. You got to get yourself back on track, nigga. Like, and I had to do it, you know? I had to learn if I enjoy something, I got to moderate it.
Yeah. And
I can't let it take control. Before I was in to take control of my action, and I finally got it. And I still get help. I still get help. I still get it. You know, people, this is what I want to tell everybody out there. Like, you see people out there, artists, boom, we still get help. And I respect, I'm grateful for all the respect I get. People hit me up, I'm grateful. I'm grateful for all things. God's giving it to me, and I'm grateful. And you know what? I will never mess that up again. And I do it for the fans. I do it because they love me, and I do it because I do it for myself. It gives me a sense. It helps my recovery. It helps my gratification. And I know that if everybody's happy, they're good, I'm good. And I've been good so far, and I'm just taking it right now. And if I ever think about going back to that area, I just play the tape over. I play the tape to where it got me and with the situations that happened before. And that prevents me from going back to that area because I know that area, I already know that road.
Right.
That road is nothing. You know, I was young. I was coming up. I was on these tours. I was doing all these things. I was loving it. And I got caught. Yeah. You know, but, you know, it's all right. Everybody gets caught. It's about getting uncaught, getting unstuck.
Right.
Yeah.
You get unstuck. You know, maybe you get into the glue, but it's about disattaching yourself from that glue and then being free again.
So this is like, I guess, like a two-part question.
Yeah.
So Rock Raida, when you first heard he passed, where were you and how did you feel about it?
We saw Raida in Maryland. We went out. Shouts to Ty. Raida's daughter, Asia, just had a baby. I remember seeing Asia when she was young. She just had a baby, Jaden. Shouts to them. We just saw Raida. All of us went. We all went. Rob, the Clips. We all went over and saw Raida, and we saw him the night before.
The night before?
Yeah, we saw him. We saw him the day before. And we were there. And Raida asked, you know, he was joking with us and laughing with us. The next day, my man came to me and he tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Yo, man, Raida passed away." And the feeling that I had was really, I can't explain it. It was bland. It was very, very dark. I didn't want to believe it. I really didn't. You know, I started crying. My man grabbed me, and you know, that's how I found out. It was very, very bland for me. You know, at the end of the day, I understood that death is a part of life, and we gotta accept that. It's very hard. This why to this day I always do the ninja rap routine for Raida because I vowed that I was always gonna do something to keep him alive, and we keep him alive. Believe me, Raida will never be dead to us. Right. He will never be. Wherever you see us, we're gonna do a routine from him. Whenever you see us, the spirit is there. Whether it be me, Rob, Steve, or it be Eclipse, or it be Precision, Boogie Blind, whether it be any of us, you're gonna see his presence there, and we refuse to let him die.
How many members are there now?
They're still the same members. We don't stop to do it. It's still the same.
Still the same?
Still the same.
Okay.
We don't stop.
I got a random question right here.
Yeah.
What do you feel about the little CD turntables nowadays?
They're cool.
They're
cool for mixing, but you know.
I'm
a turntable. I'm a turntable,
right? The needles.
I see Bodega going through. I know he got to get his word in. Hey, I like them. I think that they're.
What do you prefer?
Turntables.
Turntables.
I'm a turntable dude.
Yeah, absolutely. Right.
All day, every day. I'm a turntable dude. I love the feel of the turntable. I always will. I don't give a fuck. They come out with some shit that you can just touch and.
But that's what they do have now. You press a button and it plays the whole set for you. Right?
I don't give a. Hey. Love those. I don't give a shit.
You know what's funny? It's just like how when when I get into a discussion of like when people say, yeah, I make beats, and I'm like, oh, really, what do you use? And they'd say oh, my computer. And I'm like, And they're like, what do you use? And I'm like, the MPC. And they're like, yeah, well, that's old. And I'm like, dude, let me tell you something. I have way more fun hitting those drum pads than you do click, drag, click, drag, click, drag.
Exactly.
Trust me.
Exactly.
You can make the hottest beat, and I can make a subpar beat, but I had way more fun than you.
You know what? You know what? And you know what? It's funny because this you gotta respect. It's a new generation. This is all they know. Yeah. But they don't know the feel. It's like
exactly.
The feel is the feel. Like I prefer an MPC 60. I still love a 1200. I don't give a shit what nobody say. The pads are right there. You can move them. I don't like. Hey, give me the best DJ on an MP3, and I'll blow him on a pair of turntables because I can feel him.
Yeah.
You know, I can feel him. Like, I got to feel what I do. It's like a drummer. A drummer will never be a drummer. Got to use sticks and a beat. A drummer can feel us better. A drummer got to feel what he's doing. It's similar to the turntables.
Right.
I ran into a drummer. He's like, yo, I can feel what you're doing because you play with the feeling. The turntables is a similar feeling.
Right. Yeah.
The drummers play with that feeling, but a drummer will never die because it's always going to need drummers. Yeah. And they're going to feel. You got to play by feeling. Yeah. The feeling is the best way to play. You let shit control what you're doing, it's kind of like you lose your feeling. But everybody I know that went to that technology always went back to the regular pad because they want to feel what they're doing. They can feel it. They get the sense of it. And that's what music is feeling.
Yeah.
I mean, my version, my analogy of music is emotion transmitted in the sound. That's what it is.
Yeah.
People always ask me my definition of music. Yeah. And I always tell them, to me, it's emotion transmitted into sound. Because whatever you do, you got different music. You got slow jams. Yeah. You got hip hop. You got hardcore. Whatever motherfucker feeling, they gonna put it in their music.
Yeah.
Whether you be a musician or a writer or a DJ, when you feeling sad, you playing some. It's emotion transmitted sound.
Yeah. So if you ever have like a turntable named after you, that's what it's gonna be.
It's gonna be emotion transmitted into sound, and that's what it is.
Yeah.
So 12, right?
Yeah. You said Bodega?
1200.
1200.
Y'all guys are great.
Yeah, man.
Y'all got the great interview, Rick. Yeah. Yo, I want everybody to know that, I said some real shit here. Like
that's some real shit.
Yeah, and you know what? I hope it inspires somebody to do what it is.
Do you have any like Twitter or Facebook or something where people can get in contact?
I got all that. They can just go to Mr. I was gonna say Mr. Sinister. I don't know the Facebook type to subscribe, but you go to MISTA That's pretty much everything on my Facebook, Twitter. People see me on that, so they know.
So let's you talked about the tours and everything. You was pissing on Club.
Yeah, I gotta go to the they're gonna wait because I gotta go to the bathroom right now.
So you're gonna piss on our four?
No, I'm not gonna do that.
No, I'm joking. All right, so we're gonna get back into the music. Got DJ Mista Sinister. After he takes a piss, we're going to
we'll come back and talk some more shit.
Stay tuned for this very interesting, real interview going on right now. And he has a very funny tour story that I'm pretty sure he'll share with us. All right, we heard it already, but you need to hear it. Stay tuned, bitches.